ESPN had to come out and hire a bunch of DEI hires, Monica McNutt among them. Monica McNutt has turned absolutely nothing intelligent to say into some pretty good gigs, into some pretty high-profile gigs, and good for her. I'm not mad about it. Why would I be mad about it? I'm happy for her. She's on ESPN. She does somehow Brooklyn Nets game, and you know what? She's all the rage on all the shows in between, but she's really stupid. I mean, when it comes to hoops, there's nothing she could say, and I hate to even give her this kind of time because this is what we would expect out of Monica McNutt. Look, the race between Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese in terms of a Rookie of the Year isn't even close. I mean, it's not even close. Angel Reese's team is on track to lose more than they lost last year. Caitlin Clark's team is figuring it out, on track to win 4 more than they lost or when they won last year. Now, why is that important? Why is that important? Well, because in the world of ESPN, if you are black, you must vote for a black candidate. Kendall Perkins told us that. Kendrick, whatever the hell his name is, Perkins taught us that. Do not vote for Jokic because, well, he's a white guy. Well, it has extended to folks as insignificant as Monica McNutt. But she's significant enough that we're talking about it because she has high-profile gigs. So follow me. High-profile gig makes significant. Opinions, insignificant, uninformed, kind of silly and stupid. But anyway, here's the latest. On Get Up Friday, McNutt claimed that the Rookie of the Year race is one-sided to Angel Reese, the oft miss from 2 feet center for some team that's losing, the Chicago Sky. Miss, get my own rebound. Miss, get my own rebound. Yay, I got a double-double. And Angel Reese is a good player. She is actually, I root for Angel Reese. I got nothing but love for Angel Reese. I see what she's trying to do. She doesn't really know who she is. Am I ghetto girl, as she said? Am I high fashion girl? You know, I don't know. And she's trying to keep her sex life out of it, which is very, very smart. I'm all in on Angel Reese. Now, we know what's going to happen in about, I don't know, this summer. She's going to cry and bitch and moan and whine. But that's okay. See, on the other side, Caitlin Clark's got a boyfriend, very secure with who she is, knows who she is. All right. And that makes people crazy. But I'm not dissing Angel Reese. I think she's a nice player. Problem is, she's similar to every woman basketball player not named Caitlin Clark in the WNBA. Very awkward, falls into things, doesn't really have a game, shoots it from her hip around the basket, no explosiveness, but that's all right. There are very few that do. Diana Taurasi certainly does. Looks like Brianna Stewart, maybe Asia Wilson certainly do. It's good. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and pretend that I know all the WNBA players. I don't, and I don't care. You could tell me someone from the Lynx is the leader for the MVP, and I would say, no, she's not. No, she's not. Anyway, according to McNutt, voters must consider team records when deciding on the award. My Rookie of the Year is going to be based on the standings. Well, of course it is. It's actually based on her being black and Angel Reese being black. And Monica McNutt doesn't want to face her peeps, having said the straight white girl, is the MVP. You got to understand this. And if you understand this, then you kind of, all right. Monica McNutt cannot go into her world voting for the straight white girl. You have to vote for the black girl. And I don't know the sexuality. I don't care of Angel Reese, but if she's lesbian, even better. That covers Monica McNutt. You imagine Monica McNutt, who tries so hard to be so cool. I mean, tries so hard. Saying the little white girl should be Rookie of the Year. According to McNutt, team records. My Rookie of the Year is based on standings, and the Sky right now are in the playoffs. So you'd have to give the nod, in my mind, to Angel Reese. That's not why. First, Reese's Sky team has fewer wins than Clark, 7-8. Difference is, Fever have played 21 games with a 381 winning percentage. The Sky have played 19 with a 389 win percentage. I mean, if you're not winning at least half of your games, who cares what the winning percentage is? Second team's records are rarely a deciding factor in Rookie of the Year, if ever. But this isn't even, there is no There is no reason to even make logic out of this. The Sky loaded up with 2 top 7 picks. That big gal, Camila Cardosa, took her 3rd. Reese 7. Reese is in a better situation. Clark came to the worst team. That's why they had the number 1 pick. And Clark's been a better player, and the odds show it. Clark minus 550 to win the award. Reese is 2nd. Now, I don't know that we can ignore that Caitlin Clark is beating Angel Reese in nearly every statistical category except rebound. And I'll say it again, the Sky are set to lose more games this year than last. The Fever on pace to win 4 more. I mean, I know that doesn't matter. In fact, I'm going to argue that all things considered, not just standings, all things, Caitlin Clark's the MVP of the league. I mean, it's my anniversary, July 8th. My wife made it easy for me. 7/8/15 is when we got married. And we're talking about the Fever and the Sky and the WNBA. Brianna Stewart's averaging almost 20 and 9. Probably the MVP. Asia Wilson's averaging 27, shooting 52%. But I got to tell you, no one's electrified the league. 16 points, 6 rebounds, 7 assists. You kidding me? Has more block shots than Angel Reese. 17 to 4. You kidding me? I mean, just stop it. This thing for Rookie of the Year isn't even a conversation. The conversation, if this continues, is going to be, is Caitlin Clark the MVP? That's where this needs to head. You know, a general manager said anonymously the other day, I'd trade my entire team for Caitlin Clark, and let me explain why. Every general manager knows in their locker room it's a cesspool of shit. It's a cesspool of lesbianism, jealousy, angry. It is. And if you don't believe me, ask anybody that's ever been involved in the WNBA that has any sense, that isn't involved in being one of these crazy people. The locker rooms are god-awful. I've talked to women that were so happy. Look, I made my money, had a great career, I got out. They're so terrible. Awful. And Caitlin Clark just straightens it out. I mean, Caitlin Clark, Aaliyah Boston, and their whole team is starting to figure it out because Caitlin Clark's an adult woman with her brain on straight. I'm not saying anybody else isn't. I'm just saying that's the reason the an anonymous general manager was quoted as saying, hey, look, I'd trade my entire team. Now, someone's going to say, you can't quote an anonymous source. Really? You think that general manager should go out there and say it? Are you insane? Are you nuts? Oh, hell no. Oh, hell no. Man, it's a weird deal where you can go right on ESPN and make no sense at all except for race. But it's the world we're living in. Forget about the Rookie of the Year. That's in the bag. Just don't get hurt. Now we move our sights, Caitlin Clark and the whole city of Indianapolis. We move our sights to MVP. I think I'm going to be there Friday night. I'm going to chant MVP. I'll be the big fat guy. I may take my shirt off. I may paint myself CC MVP or not. Maybe I'll sit in the corner with a couple buddies of mine and their wives and go, man, Caitlin Clark's really good. It's fun to watch. That's what I'm hoping anyway. Nobody needs to see that. But anyway, as I said again, Vegas knows. Vegas always knows. Let me give you them again. You got to bet $550 to win $100 if you're going to bet on Caitlin Clark for Rookie of the Year. That's steep odds. You got to bet if you bet 100, you get 350 back. Vegas knows. Smart people know. When will the racism at ESPN ever stop? I don't think it will. Nah, I don't think it will. That's all right. You hire racists, guess what you get? Racists. You hire dumb people, guess what you get? Dumb takes. The ESPN way. All right, let's talk about ESPN. They were smart enough to get rid of Jemele Hill. Jemele Hill is actually very smart. Now, even though she went to Michigan State, she's pretty smart. Like, she is. She was a pretty accomplished writer, got the job at ESPN, was good, and then it happened. And it always happens. I'm on ESPN. People know me now. It's the first time in my life anybody's ever recognized me. Holy hell, I don't know how to act. And then you think you're too much. Then you think you're something that you're not. And then you go overboard on ego, and then ESPN has to say adios because your performance lags. Now, this is back when performance mattered. There's no way now that Mike Smith and Jemele Hill, SC at 6, or whatever they tried to make it into, would be canceled now. They just happen to be pre-George Floyd. And ESPN's lost its mind. But Jemele Hill's still making us all nauseous. No, not by her looks. She believes, if you can believe this, that the Democrats have a disadvantage in terms of the, wait for it, media. Say what? Say huh? Disadvantage in terms of media, saying the press will be to blame if Donald Trump wins the election. Now, let me explain something to you. We all know this. Hell, even liberals know this. Even the wackiest of wacky liberals know that the cover-up from the media to the Democrats, and not just Biden, Hillary, Biden's kid, the whole deal is legendary. Hell, here in Indianapolis, the creepy sports writer who has a restraining order against him, he can't, by his newspaper, I guess, not really a restraining order, but you get what I'm saying. He can't go cover Fever games. When Biden was doing all this stupid stuff, oh, leave him alone. He's just a nice old man. Really? I mean, every single chance that same creepy-ass writer gets to blast Donald Trump or to blast anything not liberal, takes it. That's what our newspaper does, and it's not just sports, obviously. It's everywhere across the board with the Indy Star and Gannett. All you got to do is look at that. That's it. And it's every newspaper. So there is no disadvantage to Democrats. Are you crazy? They got the greatest advantage of all. Are you insane? My God. Every single media person covering the White House should be fired, except for Peter Doocy, because they all covered up the cognitive decline. You cannot have the President of the United States and his people and our press lying to the American people and have a civilized society. And that's what they've been doing. Why? Well, I got to tell you, Jemele Hill, because you're a Democrat, because you're liberal. That's the way it is. Biden's issue is, isn't that he can't convey his accomplishments. What are they? I mean, I'll hang up and listen. There are just so many conservative echo chambers, Fox News, Newsmax, Owen, that run Republican Trump messaging 24 hours a day. There is no Democratic Party equivalent of that, and no, it is MSNBC. What? What are you, nuts? What are you, nuts? Every single news outlet. Like, I was watching the local news the other day, and it was when Trump tried to do his interview with Stephanopoulos, and they were very complimentary. As far as VP Harris goes, she would have the same issues as Biden. They have one of the most accomplished administrations in history, but again, you wouldn't know that by the media coverage. Well, tell me what they've done. I mean, tell me what they've done that matters to us. We all know that inflation was 1.7 when Biden took office. Now it's 7, 8, 4, 6, whatever the hell they want to tell me. We all know that the border was secure when Biden took over, and now we have rampant crime of illegal immigrants. And the reason being, as we've seen, now Democratic Congress is trying to push through that illegals can vote. I mean, tell me the accomplishments. Everybody on the left always says this. They always talk about these great accomplishments. I'm game. Hey, I will say this. My 401k ain't bad. And at my age, hell, I'm looking at that. My retirement account ain't bad. I ain't mad at it. I was early. No, I'm not. I'll give you that. And that's big to me. It's not big to my kids. It's not big to my stepkids. It's not big, but it is to me. Are you kidding me? So tell me, please, instead of just saying these accomplishments are great, what are they? What are they? What major media outlet is the left's version of Fox? There's all kind of things going on here. The thread in Jemele Hill's thing here. What major media? What? I'm surprised that you asked that question. I'm certain you've heard of CNN, MSNBC. It's neither of those. Oh, MSNBC hired an election denier, that lady. Okay, they got rid of her, but actually NBC did, and that's how dumb she is. Both networks have made a ton of moves to try to appeal to a more conservative and right-wing viewpoints. The biggest CNN shareholder donated $250,000 to Trump's campaign and said CNN should be more like Fox News. Find me any quote from where Rupert Murdoch said Fox should be more like MSNBC. You can't. See, here's what Jemele Hill doesn't understand. When you're just spewing bullshit without facts behind it, nobody wants to be like you. So again, I ask, give me all the accomplishments. I mean, hey, NATO and all these things that don't matter to us. I do know this. I do know because I've told you that when I was a single dad, I went grocery shopping damn near 2 or 3 times a week. I know the price of stuff, and it's insane. So just give me one, anyone, and I'll listen. I don't care what they say on their station. We all know that when you go to CNN, although CNN has switched because their entire credibility is on the line after that election. Everybody switched after that debate. You had to. Even Stephen King came out, I think it was today or yesterday, and said, look, Biden, you got to step down. Oh, meathead. Rob Reiner, look, Biden, you got to step down. But why has everybody been hiding that from us? See, I believe this. I believe the American people can handle it. I believe we can handle it. Hey, I ran into so many people at the Indiana Derby that watch this, and I'm so thankful for all of you. I don't know if they watch it live or get it on YouTube or at OutKick. I don't know. I couldn't believe how many people, and they're all like, keep being strong, Dan, keep telling the truth. Well, here's the truth. Here's a simple truth. Just give us the truth. Don't spin it because you're in Biden's pocket. Don't spin it because you hate Trump. Don't spin it because you love Trump or you hate. Just give us the truth. That's it. When you see something, say something on the local news. It's simple. We can handle it. People are idiots. You people, not us. No. You people that run these news organizations are stone-cold dumbasses. We can handle the truth. Quit being biased. And Jemele Hill, love that you pop up every once in a while. You give me 10 minutes of your stupid. It's beautiful. Nah, it's really, really beautiful. Here is proof that the media is in favor of the Democrats. This is easy. I mean, this stuff is in there. A database leak in May confirmed Google manually dictates which websites rank the highest on topics such as the election and COVID. An all-sides analyst study found that 63% of articles that appear on Google News are from left-leaning outlets. 63, almost 2 out of 3, compared to just 6% from right-leaning sources. I like outfits better. It makes me sound tougher. Moreover, Dr. Robert Epstein testified to the Senate Judiciary Committee that biased search results generated by Google's search algorithm shifted at least 2.6 million votes to Hillary in 2016, and at least 6 million votes in favor of Biden in 2020. I keep telling you this, and my boss, the great Clay Travis, keeps putting out these polls, and they're great in terms of Trump, which means they're great in terms of our country, but don't believe a word of it. Are you crazy? This election does not start until midnight election night. It just doesn't. And if you think it does, you're crazy. Things like algorithms that we don't understand are important in this. So that's bigger, Google is, than any TV station. And yet you saw what they do. 63%, 2/3, right-leaning, 6%, left-leaning, 6% right-leaning. Are you kidding me? Stop it. But I keep it coming, Jemele, because you give me a good 10 minutes of content on a Monday morning that very few are dumb enough to give. All right, I'm going to say it. I'm going to say it out loud, and I don't care who hears it. I like Bronny James. I like Bronny James. You guys can get mad at me, but I like Bronny James. I don't think Bronny James can play. I think he will. I think there will be a time when LeBron James and Bronny James play in the same game. That's the whole setup here. I don't think players wanted to come and play for the Lakers because of all that crap. And, of course, the taxes and what Gavin Newsom has done to this great state, the golden state of California. But I will say this, I'm rooting for Bronny James. I think he's a nice kid. LeBron James put a tweet out yesterday, or statement out yesterday, basically saying, look, here's the deal. Bronny James comes from privilege. He didn't have to work like he's worked. He didn't have to get after it like he did, but he has. Kid's special. I'm paraphrasing, and he's right. He's absolutely right. Did the Jordan boys work that hard? No. Although I did try to recruit Jeffrey Jordan. Anyway, long story short, Bronny James got a start in his first summer league game. It did not go well. He struggled 4 points, 2 of 9 shooting, 2 rebounds, 2 assists, minus 16 on the floor. I don't care. No, I did summer league games. I thought some dude named Walker was going to be the greatest player in the NBA. He's got like 3 names. I don't know what the hell his name is. But he was playing for the Spurs. He dropped like 37. He did it like you're supposed to. He's going to be good. I mean, you see somebody in the summer league, you're like, okay, great. I don't care. He's going to be on the team at some point. I'm not saying he's going to be on the team to start. I'm not saying there's not going to be a two-way deal here. I'm not. But I am saying this. I'm rooting for him. He seems like a nice kid. He's in a tough situation, a good situation for like 99.99999% of the people. But he's in a tough one because he's got to live it and he's got to do it. And you know what? If he starts talking, then that's a problem. I said on Charlie's show last week, he just needs to shut up and play basketball and work. That's it. You know, everybody else, it's like Caitlin Clark. Everybody else is going to be losing their mind. You be the adult at 19 years old, which is weird, I know, but that's the way the world works, and I hope he does it. See, the entire world should take my advice. I don't know how they don't. The entire world should go, Dan, what's next for me? And I'll give you the advice, but that's what Bronny James should do. You know, Tennessee's baseball coach, Tony Vitello, says he's no longer chasing a ghost after winning a national championship, redefining his pre-national championship rant about what success really is. See, here's the deal. Now, here's what you got to understand. This is why I love coaches. Coaches win a game, a championship, and man, are they philosophers. Oh, man, are they philosophers. They got it all figured out. They just came down from the mount. Tony Vitello won the baseball NCAA title with the University of Tennessee, and now he's come down from the mount with philosophy. The one thing I've reflected on is you hate to be at the end of your career and chasing a ghost. So there's some levity kind of knowing it's in your back pocket. There are coaches out there that have worked just as hard. They're definitely smarter than me, but they're not at a school like Tennessee where they have the resources to put themselves in a position to do that stuff. So I think you got to be careful when you say, hey, Charles Barkley never won a title, the Jazz did. There are certain circumstances. Well, Michael Jordan was in Charles Barkley and John Stockton's way. That's pretty good. No, he's right. He's right. I didn't know this when I took the Bowling Green job. I didn't realize Bowling Green was basically the worst job in the MAC in terms of resources, that kind of thing. But you know what? Who cares? But Tony Vitello is right. You've got that championship. No one can ever take that away from you. Just don't become a philosopher. Tony Vitello is a fresh freaking voice in the world of sports. Don't become a philosopher. This one isn't bad, and he's absolutely right. But I would also argue, and I saw this before, I saw when Tony Vitello was starting out as the head coach at Tennessee and the crowds that they had wasn't great. They had a good park. I'm sure they had great resources, meals, all that kind of stuff, but it wasn't great. That dude has built something spectacular. That dude has built something that now I'm guessing people drive from all over just to go to a Tennessee baseball game, and it's probably hard to get a ticket. And a lot of it is him. Most of it. 90% of it is him. That's why I always say, you can tell me all you like about player this, player that. Let me ask you a question. How's Florida done since Urban Meyer left? Ohio State, got to tell you. Ohio State before Urban Meyer and after Urban Meyer. Before Urban Meyer, actually before Jim Tressel, Ohio State football coaches won 75% of their games. Didn't matter if it was me coaching, you coaching, or Woody Hayes coaching. After, once Jim Tressel got a hold of it and football changed, it became like 85% of their games. Meyer took it to 90, and now Ryan Day's getting killed because he's not keeping it at 95. Coaches matter way more than players. Just saying. I know that's wrong. I know you're going to lose your mind. Yeah, but it's on the – no, shut up. No. Nope. Jordan Spieth. Jordan Spieth's become a little wimpy guy. Yeah, I'm a little tired of Jordan Spieth. I like Jordan Spieth. I always thought he looked different on the golf course. You know, Tiger Woods looked different because he got big and strong, that kind of thing. I always thought Jordan Spieth looked like a basketball player playing golf, and I can get down with it. But now he's whining. And now he chokes in the fourth round every single time, and apparently he's got all kind of mental stuff going on. Jesus. Spieth says he'd get in a lot of trouble if he answered a live golf question on everyone's mind after Spieth was asked specifically what happens to live players that want to come back over to the tour. Jordan's going to get in trouble. Jesus, grow a pair. That's an extremely loaded question that I could get in a lot of trouble answering. I'll just say things of that nature take a little bit of time, but they're very active. It's about as far as I can go for you. I'd like to see it done right for everyone, so the timing is the timing. Obviously, anything can be done right and done sooner. That's great. But I'd rather see it done correctly and done the right way for golf going forward for the longest amount of time, regardless of how long that takes to get there. Well, what he's saying is, I'm a wimp. What he's saying is, I really don't have any thoughts. I'm a guarded kind of just golfer guy. But what he's really saying is this. I don't want them back here. I don't want them back here because I really don't care about golf. I care about ego. See, all these guys on the PGA Tour, I believe, after reading different quotes when I knew we were doing this article or this segment, all these guys on the PGA Tour are worried about one thing and one thing only, retribution. You left. You got paid. What do you owe us? This isn't about growing golf. Don't think for a second any of these PGA Tours little muckety-mucks care about growing golf. All these little frat boys. And I tell you who pisses me off more, Justin Thomas. Justin Thomas looks like a little bitch to me. But anyway, I digress. All these little frat boys are mad because those guys went to that tour and got big pay, while these guys had the same option and didn't do it. Okay, such is life. As Frank Sinatra used to sing, that's life, that's life, that's what all the people say. That's life. So what? You made now, Jordan Spieth and the rest of the PGA wonkety-wonks, they want retribution. They want reparations. They want payback upon the flesh. Well, what are you for? Let me just simply ask you, what are you for? Are you for growing, quote, growing the game of golf? Or are you for retribution? If you're for growing the game of golf, here's what you say. Hey, man, we need everybody playing under one big tent. Let's get those guys back and let's go. If you're for growing the game of golf, period. Oh, man. You got to give Joe Biden credit. Joe Biden deserves credit for trying. He is trying so hard to come back from that disaster of what was it, last Thursday or 2 Thursdays, whatever the hell it was. He's really trying. They dropped him into a black church, and he looked like a complete idiot yesterday. He's pandering. He's making excuses. It was a cold. I traveled around the world. I got distracted. I almost fell asleep. They were talking in my ear. He is trying everything, including little Georgie Stephanopoulos. Now, when I think about knee pads, I think about Stugatz from the Dan Le Batard show. I think about Kamala Harris, obviously, and I think about George Stephanopoulos. George Stephanopoulos has lived his life putting on a set of knee pads and getting it done with whatever Democrat he needs to get it done with, and doing it in a smug little Napoleon way. So George Stephanopoulos was picked by the machine, the Democratic machine and Hunter Biden, which are two in the same by now. But anyway, we're going to do an interview with George Stephanopoulos. This is going to be great. Well, it went about as planned. He rambled, sounded hoarse, lied out his ass in his taped interview. Appearance, taped. You can't even do a live interview as the President of the United States. That's disgusting. You're the freaking president, and you got to tape it because you might crap yourself. Why? Why else would you have to tape it? Here is some of the sound to it, including our president. Don't only listen to this where he says the goodest job. Listen to what he says after the goodest job.
Mr. President, I've never seen a president at 36% approval get reelected. Well, I don't believe that's my approval rate. That's not what our polls show.
And if you stay in and Trump is elected and everything you're warning about comes to pass, how will you feel in January?
I feel as long as I gave it my all and I did the goodest job as I know I can do. That's what this is about.
Listen to this. I just want you to hear this. I did the goodest job as I know I can do. Man, is that a kindergartner? It's President of the United States. I did the goodest job as I know I can do. Man. All right. I mean, you know, if that's what you're saying. Here's our president on Putin.
Elections are about the future, not the past. They're about tomorrow, not yesterday. And the question on so many people's minds right now is, can you serve effectively for the next 4 years?
George, I'm the guy that put NATO together, the future. No one thought I could expand it. I'm the guy that shut Putin down. No one thought could happen. I'm the guy that put together the South Pacific Initiative with AUKUS. I'm the guy that got 50 nations, out, not only in Europe, outside of Europe as well, to help Ukraine. I'm the guy that got Japanese to expand their budget. And for example, when I decided we used to have 40% of the computer chip, and we invented the chip, that little chip for the computer chip.
Okay. All right. I mean, you're the guy that shut Putin down. What does that mean? Well, I mean, it seems like Putin's running pretty good, and they certainly weren't shy about the bronzer. He did look pale in the debate, so now they're bronzing him up. What does that mean? I'm the guy that shut Putin down. When last seen, Putin doing pretty good. I don't know. Maybe he's not. But at last seen, I hate to admit this, but Putin still seems to be rocking and rolling. Am I wrong about that? I think I am. Or I don't think I am. Maybe I am. Look, I get it. You like the power. Look, I get it. Your whole life. You went from being in the 1980s, they had to shut you down. You tried to run for president. You were a plagiarist. It was embarrassing. You stood up there. You went and you got yourself hair plugs during the debates, last whatever years, and you're still lying. You're still doing stupid things. We literally have the dumbest president ever. And I'm not just saying from now. I'm saying dumbest president going back. The lying is the cheatiness. See, we all thought that politicians lie. Well, this guy has taken it to a new level. This guy the other day said that to win and become a senator in Delaware, wait for it, Philadelphia put him over the top, meaning won it for him. There are 12 states that have Philadelphia as a city, town. Delaware is not one of them. The thing that Donald Trump said when he was being or trying to be elected back in 2016 was, I'm going to drain the swamp. I'm going to expose the swamp. He has. Oh, has he ever? My God, it's been exposed. Now, according to Jemele Hill, the media is covering it up for the Republicans. I don't think that holds water. If the media, and I'm going to go butt Trump here, if the media treated Biden like they treat Trump, Biden would have been out of office a long, long time ago. But they don't. They cover up for him. They don't report when he walks around senile. They don't report when he says, no, they don't report it at all. They cover for him. It's sad, really. What about this? What if an elected official decided to actually serve the people that elected him instead of serving his own ego, his own power, his own pocketbook? What if that happened? Well, if that happened, Pelosi's district wouldn't be the worst district in America in terms of homelessness, drug use at all. But somehow we don't pay attention to this. Somehow we just let it go. Somehow we just say, it's all right. Man, it's amazing to me. Before we go to break, I got to bring Nick in here. Nick, you met a friend this weekend. What was her name? Cis unbinary? What was her name, Nick?
Welcome back, Dan. It's good to see you again. You're looking like Tiger Woods after a win with that red shirt on. How do you feel? You look good. You feel good?
I feel good, man. Yeah, I feel like I'm underdressed, though, today. I'm a little embarrassed because of the T-shirt. I don't think it's a good look for me. I'm not happy with my look right now.
You should be. It looks good.
I'm
I
just
met
saying.
I met my alter ego this weekend after a pretty violent Saturday night with the bottle, and his name is Blackout Betty. Don't
Blackout
ask.
Betty showed up.
Blackout Betty showed up, and I can't remember what he, she, they, them said because it was a violent night.
What does violent night mean in the world of Nick?
A lot of drinking, a lot of boozing, not a lot of sleeping, waking up on a hardwood floor, doing it all over again on Sunday.
Wow. Did you meet any other friends?
I didn't want to text you.
Oh, hell no. Hey, like I said, can't remember.
No.
Wish I could, but I can't.
You know, if I were a good friend, I would say that's not good for you, but I want better stories is what I'm saying. I'm like, I want a story like you're on top of a building or you were with Malik Neighbors making it rain in the strip clubs. You know what I'm saying?
No, I know exactly what you're saying. The good thing is, though, is I can turn it off whenever I want to, and I only do it like once a couple weeks, maybe 3 weeks. I don't do it too often. I'm not hitting the bottle every night, but it's okay. So once in a while, I can have a little fun.
Yeah. Oh, you're young. Yeah, man. Were you in the city? Were you perusing the city?
Oh, yeah. I went to the Bronx first, and then I ended up back in Manhattan on the West Village. And it was a good time. I had a very nice time.
Attaboy. All right, there you go, ladies and gentlemen.
How
You
was
asked
your,
for it. I wish you'd bring the hat back.
How
I think
was
you
your
should bring the hat back.
golf adding?
I beat my son out of over. Now, here is a question that I've asked my friends. My son, my nephew play me and my brother, and they like to talk, and they like a big mouth. And there's a game in golf called Vegas, which means, let's say I get a 3, my brother gets a 4, that's 34. If they get a 5 and a 4, that's 45. So if you bet at $1, 34, 45, they owe us $11. Vegas also, if you birdie, it flips it. So you can make it $1 a point up to whatever you want to make it. Well, my son and my nephew were up a couple $100 on us going into 18, and they got mouthy. So old Double D knocks it on the green. My son's struggling. I knock in a 12-footer for birdie. One guy gets an 8. The other guy gets a 5. I get a 3. My brother gets a 4. 34 against not 58, 85 times $25 a point. The boys lost $1,000 to their dads, and I felt bad for a minute. And then I'm like, you idiots, what are you doing? Like, that's your fault, not mine. So the golf outing was really good. Really good.
You were just dialed in.
My wife
dialed in.
My wife went and bought a new table. She's like, did you make him pay? I said, yeah, I made him pay. And my wife did, and went and bought a new table for our anniversary. There you go.